Hello students, in this video we will start chapter number 5 of NCERT, that is complex numbers. Now what are complex numbers? A number of the form a plus ib where a and b are real numbers is defined to be a complex number. For example, 2 plus i3 minus 3 plus I root 2 are the complex number. Here I represents the imaginary part of the number and its value is equal to root minus 1. For the complex number z equal to a plus ib, a is called the real part and it is denoted by rez or real z, and b is the imaginary part and it is denoted by imaginary z of a complex number. Now, for example, if z equal to 2 plus I5 is a complex number, then real z will be equal to 2 and imaginary part of z, that is Imz, will be equal to 5. Now, powers of I. As we know that I is equal to root minus 1. Now, it is called imaginary number as root minus 1 is not a real number. Now, I square will be equal to I into I. And as we know, the value of I is root minus 1. So, that will be equal to root minus 1 into root minus 1. And that will be equal to minus 1. Now, I cube will be equal to I into I square. Now, value of I square is minus 1 and that will give us I cube as minus I. Now, I raised to power 4 will be equal to square of I square, and I square is equal to minus 1, and that means I raised to power 4 will be equal to 1. Now come to exercise 5.1. In question number first, we have to find the value of 5i into minus 3 by 5 into I. Now here 5 into minus 3 upon 5 will be equal to minus 3 and I into I will be equal to I square. And as we know, value of I square is equal to minus 1. So it will be equal to minus 3 into minus 1 and that will be equal to 3. Now in second question, we have to find the value of I raised to power 9 plus I raised to power 19. Now the most convenient way to find it is to write it in the form of the nearest even power. Now, nearest even number to the 9 will be 8. So, I raised to power 9 can be written as I raised to power 8 into I. And I raised to power 19 can be written as I raised to power 18 into I. Now, I raised to power 8 can be written as I square raised to power 4. And I raised to power 18 will be I raised to power I square raised to power 9. As we know, I square is equal to minus 1. So, I square raised to power 4 will be equal to minus 1 raised to power 4. And I square raised to power 9 will be minus 1 raised to power 9. And minus 1 raised to power 4 will be equal to 1. And 1 into I will be equal to I. And minus 1 raised to power 9 will be equal to minus 1. And minus 1 into I will be equal to minus 5. Now, I minus I will be equal to 0. Now, in question number 3, I raised to power minus 19 can be written as 1 upon I raised to power 19. Now, I raised to power 19 will be equal to I raised to power 18 into I. And I raised to power 18 can be written as I square raised to power 9. As we know, I square is equal to minus 1. So, that will be minus 1 raised to power 9. Now, this will give us I raised to power 19 as 1 upon minus I. Now, on rationalizing it or on multiplying the numerator and denominator by I, it will be equal to minus I upon I square. As you know again, I square is equal to minus 1. So, it will be equal to I. Now, in question number 7, we have to find the value of 1 upon 3 plus I 7 by 3 plus 4 plus I 1 by 3 minus minus 4 by 3 plus I. Now here we will add the imaginary part and the real parts, and real and the imaginary part separately. Now here real part is 1 upon 3, and in second one real part is 4. So 1 upon 3 plus 4. Now plus in the imaginary part we will take I as common, and that will be plus I 7 by 3 plus 1 by 3. Now here 1 by 3 plus 4 will be equal to 13 by 3, and 7 by 3 plus 1 by 3 will be 8 by 3. So that will be equal to 13 by 3 plus I 8 by 3 minus 4 by 3 plus I. Again here we will solve the real parts and imaginary parts separately. Now real parts will be 13 by 3 plus 4 by 3, and imaginary part will be 8 by 3 minus 1, and that will give us the value as 17 by 3 plus I 5 by 3. Now, 8th question. Now, we have to find the value of 1 minus I raised to power 4. Now, 1 minus I raised to power 4 can be written as 1 minus I square whole square. Now, 1 minus I whole square will be equal to 1 minus 2 into 1 into I and plus I square whole square. Now, by the formula of A minus B whole square. Now, that will be equal to 1 minus 2I, and I square can be written as minus 1, and that will give us the value of 1 minus I raised to power 4 as minus 2I whole square. Now, square of minus 2 will be equal to 4, and I square will be equal to minus 1, and that will be equal to minus 4. From question number 11th onwards, we have to find out the multiplicative inverse of the real number. Now, before that, in order to find the multiplicative inverse of the real number, we must know the modulus and conjugate of a complex number. Now, let z equal to a plus ib is a complex number. Then the modulus of z, that is mod z, will be equal to under root a square plus b square. That will be under root of real part, square of the real part plus square of the imaginary part. Now, multiplicative inverse of a complex number za plus ib is given by z inverse equal to conjugate of z upon modulus of z square. Now, as you know, here z is equal to a plus ib, so conjugate of z will be equal to a minus ib, and modulus of z is equal to root a square plus b square. Therefore, modulus of z square will be equal to a square plus b square. Now, in question number 11, we have to find the multiplicative inverse of a complex number 4 minus 3i. So let z is equal to 4 minus 3i. So conjugate of z will be equal to 4 plus 3i. We will change the sign of the imaginary part to find out the conjugate of a number, complex number. Now, modulus of z square will be equal to a square plus b square, or real square of the real part plus square of the imaginary part, and that will be equal to 4 square plus minus 3 square, as here real part is 4 and imaginary part is minus 3, and that will be equal to 25. Now, multiplicative inverse of complex number z is given by z inverse equal to conjugate of z upon modulus of z square, and that will be equal to conjugate of z was 4 plus 3i, and modulus of z square is equal to 25. So z inverse will be equal to 4 by 25 plus 3 by 25 I. That means 4 by 25 will be the real number of the multiplicative inverse, and 3 by 25 will be the imaginary part of the inverse of the complex number. Now, in question number 13, we have to find out the multiplicative inverse of minus I. So, first of all, we will find out the conjugate of minus I, and that will be plus I or I. Now, modulus square of the modulus of z will be equal to 0 square plus minus 1 square, and that will be equal to 1. Here, minus I means 0 minus I. That means here real part is 0 and the imaginary part is 1. So multiplicative inverse of z will be given by z inverse, and that will be equal to conjugate of z upon modulus of z square. Here conjugate of z was I and modulus is 1. So its multiplicative inverse will be equal to I. Now in question number 14, we have to write the given number in the form of a plus ib. Now here 3 plus I root 5 into 3 minus I root 5 will be equal to 3 square minus I root 5 square by the formula a plus b into a minus b equal to a square minus b square, and denominator will be equal to root 3 plus root 2I minus root 5 plus I root 2. Here root 3 will cancel out and square of 3 will be equal to 9, and square of root 5I will be equal to 5I square. Now root 2I plus root 2I will be equal to 2 root 2I. Now as we know, I square is equal to minus 1. So 5I square will be equal to 5 into minus 1. And this will give us the number as 9 minus 5 into minus 1 upon 2 root 2I, which on solving will be equal to 14 upon 2 root 2I. Now it can be rationalized by multiplying and dividing it by I, and that will be equal to 14I upon 2 root 2I square. Now as we know, I square is equal to minus 1, so this will be equal to 14I upon minus 2 root 2. Now again there is root 2 in the denominator, so we will rationalize it by multiplying the numerator and denominator by root 2 to give us the answer as minus 7 root 2 upon 2I. Now in exercise 5.3, we have to solve the given quadratic equations. Now here first one is x square plus 3 equal to 0. Now that means x square will be equal to minus 3 and x will be equal to plus minus root minus 3. Now as this root minus 3 can be written as root minus 1 into 3, or we can say this will be root minus 1 into root 3. As we know, root minus 1 is equal to I, so root minus 3 can be written as root 3I. So value of x will be plus minus root 3I. Now in sixth question, the quadratic equation given to us is x square minus x plus 2 equal to 0. Here, well, a, or that is coefficient of x square, is equal to 1. B, that is coefficient of x, is minus 1, and constant term c is equal to 2. Now discriminant of the quadratic equation, that is d, will be equal to b square minus 4ac. Now that will be minus 1 square minus 4 into 1 into 2, and that will be equal to minus 7. As here discriminant is less than 0, so the given quadratic equation will have imaginary roots or no real roots. Now x, value of x by the quadratic formula is given by minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Here b was equal to minus 1, so minus b will be equal to minus 1 plus now b square minus 4ac, that is discriminant, was equal to minus 7. So that will be minus 1 plus minus root minus 7 upon 2a, and a was equal to 1. This on solving is giving us 1 plus minus root minus 7 upon 2, and root minus 7 can be written as root 7i. And question number 10, the quadratic equation given to us is x square plus x by 2 plus 1 equal to 0. Now on taking root 2 LCM, or on multiplying the whole equation or left hand side and right hand side by root 2, the quadratic equation will be root 2 x square plus x plus root 2 equal to 0. Here a is equal to root 2, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to root 2. Now discriminant b square minus 4ac will be equal to b1 square minus 4 root 2 into root 2, and that will be equal to minus 7. The value of x by the quadratic formula will be given by minus b plus minus root b square and b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Here b is equal to 1, so minus b will be equal to minus 1. So x will be equal to minus 1 plus minus under root minus 7 upon 2 into root 2. And that will give us the value of x as minus 1 plus minus root 7i upon 2 root 2. Now come to Argand planes and polar representation of the complex number. Now the complex number x plus iy, which corresponds to the ordered pair xy, that means real part is x and imaginary part is y, can be represented geometrically as the unique point pxy in the xy plane. Now some complex numbers such as 2 plus 4i, minus 2 plus 3i, 0 plus 1i, 2 plus 0i, minus 5 minus 2i, and 1 minus 2i, which corresponds to the ordered pair. Now this will be 2 4, minus 2 3, 0 1, 2 0, minus 5 minus 2, and 1 minus 2 respectively has been represented here to understand it. Now here first was a, that was 2 4. Now real part will be represented in x-axis and imaginary part will be represented by y-axis. Now here first one was 2 4, or number was 2 plus 4i, so it will be represented as 2 4. Now b was minus 2, or second number was minus 2 plus 3i, so it will be represented in the plane as minus 2 3. So minus 2 and 3 will be the point somewhere here, and this is point B, minus 2 3. Now C point is 0 1, x is 0 and y is 1, so C point will be equal to 0 1. Similarly 2 0 will be on the x-axis, and this will be point D, 2 0. Minus 5 minus 2, 1 2 3 4 5, minus 5 minus 2 will be the point E, that is minus 5 minus 2. And similarly we can represent 1 2 in the xy plane, and this is how we represent the complex number in a plane. Now for that we have to remember one thing, that we have to take the real part of the number in x-axis and imaginary part in the y-axis. Thank you.